If you will do this, everything will change. If you will do this, not only manifestation will become effortless, but you will start manifesting instantly. Because to be honest, time is just a human construct. So hello you guys, my name is Naya. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for 40,000 subscribers, and welcome if you're new. On this channel we talk about manifestation, metaphysical concepts, the science behind manifestation, and so much more. And on Patreon we reiterate with extra videos and challenges. If you're interested, the link is down below. But now let's get started with this video on accept your desires so you'll start manifesting instantly. And in order to express my opinion and personal belief around this, I will quote Neville Goddard, and I also have some other quotes that I have created for you guys to understand this concept. Keep in mind that you make your own rules, so you do not have to take this video as the one and only truth. Take them only if they resonate with you. And just so you know, everything that I say comes from my personal experience and not necessarily from something that I heard and I'm just parroting down, because that is my style. So let's understand accepting your desires by understanding fourth dimensional thinking, and then I will quote Neville Goddard. So what you guys, in my opinion, need to understand is that everything happens in the now. Even when you have a memory about something, actually you're not time traveling in the past, but you're bringing this memory into the present moment. We constantly live in an eternal now. And if you believe in something such a spiritual concept of a higher self, your higher self, and I explain this even why according to quantum physics and cubism in my webinar, The Science Behind the Law of Assumption. However, you don't need to know the science, but just say I'm putting out there. Your higher self, the larger part of you, lives in the fourth dimension. Now, what do we know is the fourth dimension? The fourth dimension is the dimension of time, but not time in a linear way as we perceive it, past, present, or future lived in a linear way, but time overlapping in the system in a superposition like quantum physics would explain. What does it mean in a superposition? It means the past, present, and future are overlapping in a superposition, and they're all happening at once in an infinite quantum field of possibilities. That is why Neville Goddard used to say, and also the Bible says, creation is finished, because all your timelines, all your possible timelines are happening in the now. Now, many people fail to understand this because obviously we live in a three-dimensional space with length and height, and our brain is accustomed to understand and decode information from the three dimension, indicating that we must perceive a past, present, and future in order to function in this reality. By the way, I have an entire video on the concept of time, which I go more in depth about why in the 3D time is kind of real, but then in a higher sense, time is an illusion. So many people fail to understand this concept of living in an eternal now, because obviously, and it's totally understandable, so you're not doing anything wrong, but obviously you are living in space-time and you do perceive your manifestation as they are going to come in the future. But Neville says your consciousness rearranges reality through your subconscious mind. And so it is the state of consciousness that allows reality to get rearranged, because consciousness is everything and consciousness is the source of everything and creates universes and so on. So when you understand this through your human imagination, which is the same as affirming imagination in a larger sense, you can take yourself within in any moment of time, because you are thinking fourth dimensionally. You are thinking that everything is in the now and everything is happening now. That is why I personally don't believe in delays, lag time, and I don't even personally believe in a concept of purge, because if everything is happening in the now, all that matters are your present thoughts. All that matters is your acceptance of those thoughts in the present moment. Therefore, I am not of the belief that your old thoughts create, because if every of your old thoughts will create, we will be in chaos, in constant and permanent chaos because you cannot even control every single thought. But what creates is your dominant assumptions. Dominant assumptions is nothing but the acceptance of a thought in the present moment. Now, because a belief system is nothing but thoughts that you keep repeating in the present moment, sometimes repetition is key because your subconscious mind has to accept the thoughts of the new reality that you want to create. And in order to accept it, repetition is important. However, this is what happens. It's not because you are building up thoughts that you manifest. It doesn't happen like that. Thoughts are constantly in the now. Everything is now. But in the moment that your subconscious mind accepts in the present moment, in the now, the new thought or a thought, that's when it manifested, because acceptance creates a new state of consciousness, and a new state of consciousness implies a new identity. Once a new identity is formed, it has no other way but to push it out. That is why people with little to no resistance, or let's even put it like, let's imagine that in the world we are training kids into the understanding of the spiritual law, and so they have zero to no resistance. Most likely what is going to happen, that every thought that they have, because they don't have resistance towards it, will manifest instantly. So acceptance is what actually manifests instantly. And it's not about reprogramming your mind. It's not that difficult, you guys, and I'm going to exactly explain you how to do it in this video, because it was a game changer for me and it changed my life. But now, after I explained you a little bit the theory behind this, let's read Neville Goddard together. By the way, I am reading from Awakened Imagination, and the chapter is chapter number 2, the sealed instructions. So Neville is giving us instruction on how to manifest reality through the power of imagination. Again, imagination could also be affirmation, because essentially we are talking about states of consciousness which are nothing but thoughts or words even. So Neville writes, no idea presented to the mind can realize itself unless the mind accepts it. So what happens is, let's say for instance, you want to manifest money, or you want to manifest an SP. So you start thinking those new thoughts, and sometimes you might see even opposite manifestation. The reason why you see opposite manifestation is not because your old thoughts create. It's because your mind in the beginning, it's not accepting this new reality, because subconsciously what happens, you're doing this subconsciously. There is a battle in your mind, and the battle comes from your belief. However, do not see belief in the past. Beliefs are in the present of your mind. Remember, the mind lives in an eternal now. So what happens is, you're saying, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I'm earning this amount of money, and your mind goes, no, you're not. No, this is not happening in the now. This resistant thought is the reason why you perceive it as not happening now. And this is the reason so many people say if you get an opposite manifestation, is your old thoughts manifesting. It's not inherently wrong. However, the truth, it is a little bit deeper. It's not your old thoughts. It's not the buildup of your thoughts. It's that your mind doesn't accept it. And so that creates some sort of resistance. That creates like your subconscious not accepting this new thought, and therefore not pushing it out. Therefore, when you repeat it, at some point in the now, not in the past, not because the buildup of your thoughts, not because you do more affirmations, but at some point in the now, your subconscious mind will accept it. And in the moment that the subconscious mind accepts this new reality, it instantly pushes it out. Instantly. That is why manifestation is sometimes so random, or it happens in a very unexpected way, or out of the blue, or out of thin air, because it is in the moment of the acceptance. So Neville writes, it depends on the acceptance, the state which we are identified with, which I also explained in my e-course on my formula on how to manifest a specific person. And I also do this with all my coachings. The first exercise that I give people is the new identification with the new self, because is the identification with things and circumstances that creates reality. Identification is state of consciousness, is what you identify yourself with, and identification is so correlated with acceptance, because once you accept a thought, you identify with that thought. If you are manifesting consciously, you are consciously accepting that thought as true, no matter what external reality is showing. And in the moment that you accept the thought as true and you identify with, your subconscious mind responds, because identifications and acceptance of thought is nothing but a command, and your wish is my command for your subconscious mind. So you command your subconscious through your identifications. So I read again. It depends on the acceptance, the state with which we are identified, how things present themselves. The world is a revelation of the states with which imagination is fused every single time in the present moment, not in the past, not in the future. And I will explain you why this concept of it is happening now will make you manifest things faster and instantly. It is the state from which we think that determines the objective the objective world in which we live. So if you still think about, you can work with the law of expectation, and that's an entire different story. However, if you want to manifest faster and instantly, if you understand this, you will manifest instantly. If your mind can be triggered into thinking, and I will explain you why in a minute, it is happening now. There is no future. My future is now. There is no past. So whatever has happened in the past, whatever circumstances do not matter. Whatever I experienced in memory does not matter. Whatever belief or thought I keep repeating in the now doesn't matter, because I command that through my identification, and therefore it is happening now. If you can stop perceiving your future in the future, your mind will accept it, because it will perceive it as happening now. When your mind perceives something because it accepts your desire and it perceives it as happening now, doesn't question it anymore. It doesn't say, how am I going to get from point A to point Z? And when your mind doesn't question it, because it says, I'm experiencing right now, so it doesn't matter how I'm going to get there because it is happening now, that is acceptance. Once acceptance is made, which could take 1 second, and I will show you how to do it, your subconscious mind has no other choice but to push it out. So your old thoughts do not create. It's the acceptance of a thought in the present moment that creates. It's only it's not even about, I know it's hard to grasp your mind around the fact that the past doesn't really exist, but it's not your old thoughts, it's not the buildup of thoughts. It's more about you keep identifying with what you perceive to be your old identification. You create that state of consciousness because in the now, you keep thinking, I am that old person. But the past doesn't really exist for your mind. It is all happening now. So in a moment, you can switch that. And guess what? Neville agrees with me. Success is gained not by imitating the outer actions of the successful, but by right inner actions and inner talking. So by thoughts. If we detach, listen carefully to what Neville has to say on awakened imagination. If we detach ourselves from a state, so an identification, a thought, a belief, a repetition of thought. If we detach in the present moment ourselves from a state, and we may at any moment the conditions and circumstances to which the union gave being vanish. At any moment you can accept your desire, and in the moment that you accept a new identification, and in the moment that you accept your new desires, the old condition, or what you perceive as to be the old condition, has to vanish and will vanish, and immediately your subconscious will push it out. If you understand this, there is not even any bridge of events. There is no delay. There is nothing such as a purge. There is only you accepting your desires. And in order to interpret Neville better, obviously this is only my thoughts and my personal experience, sorry, my dog is really misbehaving. I created this quote for you guys in order to understand better what I want you to understand with this video. So I wrote this. Acceptance doesn't necessarily mean you believe 100% in your affirmation. So acceptance of your desire is not about I have to believe what I'm affirming or what I'm visualizing consciously. You don't have to believe them 100%. So acceptance doesn't necessarily mean you believe 100% in your affirmation. It means only this, and this is an intention that I want you to put this. If you want to write it down in the comment section, this is what I want you to say right now to yourself in order to manifest instantly. And trust me, I did it. I advise my client to do it. It works. So acceptance only means I accept my desire as true now. I accept that I deserve them and I am worthy of them. I accept that I create my reality and my life, and creating my reality is not a privilege. I was made for it. It is my birthright. I accept the premise and works of the law. I am in harmony with the law, and I allow infinite intelligence to make easy and successful my way. Paraphrasing Florence Scovel Shinn. Acceptance is the permission you give to yourself to experience your wish fulfilled. Acceptance is the permission you give to yourself to experience your wish fulfilled. Because the reason why is not being pushed out immediately, the reason why you're not manifesting instantly and you get sometimes opposite manifestation is because you do not give yourself permission to desire what you want. You don't accept it for whatever reason that stems in the past, for whatever circumstances. Now, this video will be too long to go in depth around that, but the core issue is that acceptance is the permission you give to yourself to experience your wish fulfilled. It is a shift in identity, therefore a shift in your state. Once you shift your identity, you create your own reality accordingly, because reality is only a mirror reflection of what you identify with, as everything is mind. So acceptance is to bring what you perceive the future into the now, because you accept that future is nothing but the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Remember this last sentence. You accept that your future, your seemingly future, is nothing but the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you understand that acceptance is nothing but the future brought into the now, because you're feeling your wish fulfilled, and feeling your wish fulfilled is not about conjuring emotion, but it's like, I accept this as my now. This is happening now. Once you accept that, your mind again doesn't question anymore how you're gonna get there, because you are having that experience in the now. Having that experience in the now, whether you do it with affirmations or whether you do it with hypnosis or you do it with imaginative act, creates the feeling of the wish fulfilled, which is natural and effortless. I want to read this sentence again. Your acceptance of what you perceive as to be the future is nothing but the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So in order to manifest instantly, I want you guys today to understand that creating your reality is not a privilege, is your birthright. You are a manifestation machine, and the only way for your mind, or the only way, in my opinion, the effortless way to accept your desire is to allow yourself to accept it by saying, I accept my desires as true now. I accept that I deserve them and I'm worthy of them, because creating my life is not a privilege, but is my birthright. And then you can even specifically say, I accept now that my SP loves me. I accept now that I'm deserving of love. I accept now that my money are coming to me, are here now. Everything happens in the now. Once you understand this, you soak it in, watch this video again, you are starting to think fourth dimensionally, which only means you're not waiting for something to happen. You're not doing affirmation to make something happen. You're not imagining things or visualizing to make something happen. You are affirming and visualizing and imagining or doing any of this technique to live in the now. Because once you do that, you are experiencing that in the now. If you can do the shift, you will identify with that. And in the moment you accept it and identify with that, because it is happening in the now, it will push it out almost instantly, if not instantly. Okay, you guys, I hope this video was clear and was easy to understand. That is my perspective on fourth dimensional thinking and why accepting your desires manifest instantly. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about it. Remember, you create your own rules, so take only this if it resonates with you. See each other on Patreon. And remember, for my e-course on my formula on how to manifest your SP and therefore also shift your identity in the present moment, the links are down below. I love you guys and see you very soon.